The crypto world was just rocked by a bombshell. The US Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, has hit Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, and its CEO Changpeng Zhao, or CZ, with a massive lawsuit. We're talking 13 serious charges that could reshape the entire industry. What exactly is the SEC accusing them of? And what does this mean for you, your crypto, and the future of digital assets? We've dived deep into the 134-page legal document to bring you the real story, breaking down each charge without the legal jargon. This isn't just another headline. This is a critical moment for crypto. Stick with me as we unpack everything you need to know. Welcome back to the channel. If you're into crypto, you've definitely felt the shockwaves from the SEC's lawsuit against Binance. It's been a chaotic week, with market dips and a whole lot of confusion. Many people are asking the same questions. Is my money safe on Binance? Is this the end for crypto in the US? It's easy to get lost in the noise and the fear-mongering. You see headlines screaming about fraud and deception, and it's natural to feel worried. The problem is, most explanations out there are either too simplistic or so bogged down in legalese that they're impossible to understand. You deserve to know exactly what's going on, what the risks are, and what the facts say. That's why we're here today. We're going to cut through the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and give you a clear, detailed breakdown of the 13 charges. Let's get straight into it. We've analyzed the SEC's complaint, and we can group these 13 charges into 3 main categories to make them easier to understand. The first, and arguably biggest, category is about offering unregistered securities. The SEC claims that Binance offered several crypto tokens that are, in fact, securities. This is the heart of the matter. The SEC's argument is based on something called the Howey test, which comes from a 1946 Supreme Court case. A security involves an investment of money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profit from the efforts of others. The SEC has named several specific tokens in the lawsuit, including Binance's own BNB coin and its stablecoin BUST, as well as popular altcoins like Solana, Cardano, Polygon, and several others. The SEC alleges that by listing and facilitating the trading of these tokens, Binance was operating as an unregistered national securities exchange, broker-dealer, and clearing agency. This is charge 1, 2, and 3, running an unregistered exchange, broker-dealer, and clearing agency. It's a foundational claim that underpins many of the other charges. The SEC also says that 2 of Binance's specific services, its staking program and its BNB Vault program, were also unregistered securities offerings. That's charges 4 and 5. With staking, users lock up their crypto to help secure the network, and in return, they earn rewards. The SEC sees this as an investment contract, where you give your money expecting a return generated by the efforts of Binance. Similarly, the BNB Vault is a yield-generating service. By not registering these products as securities, the SEC says Binance broke the law. This is a huge deal, because if these tokens and services are legally declared securities, it could have a massive domino effect across the entire crypto market, impacting nearly every exchange that lists them. Now for the second major category of charges, alleged deception and evasion of US law. This is where things get really juicy and read like a spy novel. The SEC alleges that Binance and CZ knew they were supposed to comply with US securities laws, but actively and deliberately worked to evade them. According to the complaint, Binance publicly claimed that Binance US was a separate, independent platform for American users, but the SEC alleges this was just a facade. Charge 6 is a big one. The fraudulent and unregistered offer and sale of securities through Binance US. The SEC claims that behind the scenes, the main Binance.com entity secretly controlled the operations of Binance US. They even cite internal communications, where Binance executives discussed putting up a geofencing barrier to block US users from the main platform, while privately teaching high-value US customers how to bypass these controls using VPNs. Charge 7 is specifically against CZ as a control person. This means the SEC holds him personally responsible for Binance's violations, because he was the one in charge, directing these alleged schemes. The complaint paints a picture of CZ micromanaging efforts to keep lucrative US customers on the unregulated international platform, all while claiming to be compliant with US laws. The third category of accusations is perhaps the most alarming for users: the alleged mishandling of customer funds and lack of transparency. The SEC makes some very serious claims here that go to the core of trust in an exchange. Charge 8 accuses Binance and CZ of fraud. The SEC alleges that they misled investors about the safety of their assets. This leads into charge 9, which is a bombshell, the commingling of funds. The SEC claims that billions of dollars in customer assets were mixed with Binance's own corporate funds. The complaint points to two entities controlled by CZ, called Merit Peak and Sigma Chain, which were supposedly independent market makers. However, the SEC alleges that these firms, which traded heavily on the Binance platform, were secretly funded with commingled customer and corporate money. They claim that funds were moved from customer accounts to these entities, essentially allowing CZ to control and use customer money in ways they never consented to. This is a massive accusation, and it echoes the disastrous collapse of FTX, where customer funds were also improperly used. Charge 10 is directed at Binance US and its operating company, BAM Trading. It accuses them of making misleading statements about their trading controls and oversight. The SEC alleges that while Binance US claimed to have sophisticated surveillance to prevent manipulative trading, in reality, its surveillance was virtually non-existent. This connects to charge 11, which is about wash trading. The SEC claims that Sigma Chain, CZ's entity, engaged in manipulative wash trading on the Binance US platform to artificially inflate trading volumes. This would make the platform seem more active and liquid than it actually was, deceiving investors. Finally, we have the last two charges. Charge 12 is a broad anti-fraud charge against both Binance and CZ, covering all the deceptive conduct we've just discussed, the commingling of funds, the secret control over Binance US, and the efforts to evade US regulations. And charge 13 is another control person liability charge against CZ, holding him personally accountable for the alleged fraud and manipulation on the Binance US platform. So, what happens now? First, it's crucial to remember that these are allegations. Binance and CZ are innocent until proven guilty. Binance has already responded, stating they intend to defend our platform vigorously. They argue the SEC's actions are an example of regulation by enforcement, not by clear rules, and that this lawsuit hurts American investors and innovation. They also strongly deny the allegations about mishandling customer funds, stating that user assets on both Binance.com and Binance US have always been safe and secure. This legal battle will likely be long and drawn out, potentially taking years to resolve. In the short term, we've seen the market react with a downturn, and the court has granted the SEC's request for a temporary restraining order to freeze the assets of Binance US. This is to ensure customer funds can be protected and returned if necessary. It does not mean Binance US is shutting down, but it does create significant operational challenges for them. What does this mean for the average crypto holder? If your funds are on Binance US, you should be paying very close attention to their official announcements. While they have assured users their funds are safe, the freezing of assets could impact withdrawals and operations. For those using the international Binance.com, the direct legal impact is less clear, but the reputational damage and market uncertainty affect everyone. This lawsuit is a stark reminder of the phrase, "not your keys, not your coins." Using a hardware wallet to self-custody your crypto is the only way to have 100% control over your assets. Looking at the bigger picture, this case could be the catalyst that forces the US government to create clear, comprehensive crypto regulations. The SEC's aggressive stance is putting immense pressure on the industry and on lawmakers. The outcome will set a major precedent. If the SEC wins and tokens like Solana and Cardano are officially deemed securities, it could lead to widespread delistings from US exchanges and fundamentally change how crypto is traded in the United States. If Binance wins, it could curb the SEC's power and force a different approach to regulation. It's a pivotal moment. The fight between the SEC and Binance isn't just about one company. It's about the future direction of the entire cryptocurrency industry. In the world's largest economy, it's about defining what a security is in the digital age and establishing the rules of the road for exchanges, projects, and investors. We will continue to follow this story as it develops and bring you updates as they happen. It's a complex situation, but understanding the details is the best way to navigate the uncertainty. Make sure you do your own research and make decisions based on your personal risk tolerance. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive. I know it's a lot to take in, but it's incredibly important. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth crypto analysis. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on the case. Do you think the SEC is right, or is this an overreach? Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.